Okay, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a lesson on digital citizenship that every student has to take. Since I can't be there because I'm sick, we're going to do it as an ed puzzle. Okay. So the title of this is Artificial Intelligence in Our Lives: Innovation, Challenges, and Responsibility. So today our learning goals are: by the end of this workshop, you'll be able to identify ways you use AI in your personal life, define AI and give examples of AI applications, understand the importance of building and using AI tools ethically, and critically analyze AI scenarios and develop guidelines for ethical AI use. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, or AI, is an area of study that brings together many different subjects such as computer science, statistics, engineering, language studies, brain science, philosophy, and psychology. So we're going to watch this video, and based on this video, after it, you're going to answer the question in the head puzzle. Based on this video, which of the following is not an example of AI in our daily lives?
Every day, AI helps people with their personal lives, jobs, transportation, education, health, and more, maybe even without them realizing it. Here are some examples of AI in action on a typical day. In the morning, a teenager wakes up and uses facial recognition to unlock her phone. She scrolls through social media feeds to see what's new. Then she asks the voice assistant on her phone what the weather is going to be like that day so she knows how to dress for school. A college student uses an app on his phone to deposit a birthday check from his grandmother. He takes a photo of the check, and the app automatically reads the handwriting to figure out the amount. It then deposits it into his account. Meanwhile, a younger student uses a different app that is teaching her a new language. The app listens to what she says and can recognize what she's saying even if she makes mistakes. The app then gives her personalized feedback on her pronunciation. At the same time, a person gets in their car to go to work, and the navigation system plans the fastest route based on current traffic. In the car, they listen to a music streaming service, which already knows what types of songs they like based on what they listened to before. When a factory worker arrives at her job, she sees that, as usual, humans and robots are both assembling cars. The robots do some of the more dangerous or repetitive tasks, like welding or painting. AI helps the robots recognize the tools they need to pick up or check parts to make sure they have been cut exactly right. When the cars are completed, computers help manage inventory and plan efficient shipping routes to deliver them around the world. Now, meet a farmer who's checking on her crops. She notices that some of her plants look unhealthy. She pulls out her smartphone and uses an app to take a photo of the leaves. The app can detect crop disease and also identify harmful insects. The app identifies the problem and recommends treatment. A surgeon is using AI to help make a medical diagnosis for a patient, and then a robot helps her perform a successful surgery. Afterwards, she goes to visit patients in a nursing home, where robots gently lift seniors in and out of bed and help them move around. In the meantime, a traveler needs to book a flight to another city. An automated customer service chatbot helps him book his ticket on the phone. Once he's on board, autopilot flies the plane for much of the flight. AI is even used in space. On the International Space Station, an astronaut talks to a free-floating robot that helps with chores and does jobs that are risky for humans. Now that you've learned about how other people use AI every day, think about how you use it. Spend a few minutes thinking about this question. What are 3 ways that you or someone you know uses AI?
All right, we're going to answer those 2 questions in the chat box now. So continuing, while many people think AI is a new field that has been developed since the 1960s, generative AI, or AI that can create unique writing, art, or music, has become common on social media and other apps. The goal of AI is to teach computers to make decisions that humans can make, such as answering questions, powering self-driving vehicles, analyzing data, and predicting outcomes. So answer these in the chat box. What are some of the ways you interact with AI regularly? And how has your use of AI changed over the last year, month, week? And if you're regularly using some form of AI in your personal life, what tasks does it help you with most? So AI in your daily life, some people use them for photo filters, chat bots, virtual assistants, fitness tracking apps, personalized social media content feeds, personalized music feeds, AI art generators like Adobe Express, shopping recommendations, or you may also like recommendations. And there are many different applications of AI. Select the ones you are most familiar with. There's natural language processing, computer vision, machine learning, and robotics. So before you watch, listen for the definition of an algorithm and what is one task it can help you with. How does a search engine algorithm decide a source is reputable, and what might be a challenge with this model? And what types of bias may make an algorithm unreliable?
Even when we don't realize it, algorithms are helping us make decisions, impacting the information we receive, the places we go, the connections we make, and the relationships we build. Why did you stumble across your new favorite birria taco recipe? How is it that you can find the closest laundromat when you need it the most in the blink of an eye? What can streaming services know about our tastes? For better or worse, algorithms have become more and more intertwined with our everyday lives. But what exactly are algorithms, and how do they work? Let's hold off pressing the enter button for a sec and look under the hood. Under the clean design of this search site lies a world of computer code. These little bits of code build the site. Those baking and eating cookies are used to identify and log your user data. This little bit of code brings up the information that no one reads, but probably should. And at the very heart of all this world of code is the search engine algorithm. Okay, so an algorithm is just a specific set of instructions or steps used to solve a given problem. While code is commonly used to express algorithms, not all algorithms are written in code. Say you have a bunch of ingredients and your problem is that they're not cake. In this case, a cake recipe is the algorithm you need. Simply input your ingredients, follow a bunch of steps, and the problem is solved. Now you have a cake. The search engine algorithm works just like this, only that it is built using steps that can be algorithms themselves. An algorithm of algorithms, if you like. Now let's hit that enter button. The first algorithm tries to understand what you are asking for. By breaking up this search query, it identifies the keywords, checks for spelling, and cross-references with synonyms. This algorithm allows the search engine to derive meaning. The next algorithm does the searching by comparing your query against an enormous database containing information about hundreds of billions of web pages. This database is itself created by another set of algorithms called crawlers, which search the web constantly looking for new and updated pages in order to index and rank them in a gigantic database. The first step is simple. Just look for websites that contain similar keywords. The second step uses AI, or machine learning, to compare the meaning of what you're looking for with what's effectively on the site. So now we've got a big list of results, but there are far too many to show on the screen. Which one should you be shown, and in what order? This sub-step ranks the results in order of expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. One way of doing this is seeing how many other authoritative sites have linked to this particular result. This step ranks the site on how user-friendly it is. Finally, this last step compares the results against your previous web user history and personal details to ensure the content is best suited for you. And le voila! Here's your search results. Okay, here we go. In essence, algorithms are simply a series of instructions that are followed, step by step, to do something useful or solve a problem. Incredibly, search engine algorithms do all this in a fraction of a second. Algorithms are incredibly useful tools for dealing with large data sets, but are also behind a lot of things we encounter as we go about our daily lives. When you type a text message into your phone, algorithms are used to convey it to the person you are sending it to. When you buy something online, algorithms are used to make it harder for cyber criminals to intercept your credit card information. If you twist your knee while playing soccer and get an MRI scan, the resulting images are created using an algorithm. Algorithms are also used to predict the path of dangerous storms and to develop new drugs to cure diseases. In an increasingly data-rich world, algorithms are learning more about us and are increasingly used in ways that shape our lives. But while algorithms bring many benefits, they can also raise concerns. One of the most important challenges with algorithms is bias. Let's revisit our search engine algorithm. In step 3A, we talked about quality control and authoritative and trustworthy sites. But who measures this, and how is it quantified? Watch episode 2, When Algorithms Don't Work.
Okay, so AI is built by humans, so it's susceptible to human biases. Bias can skew an AI model's original training data or its algorithm, leading to distorted outputs and potentially harmful outcomes. Sources of AI bias can include algorithm bias when an AI system produces misinformation, or repeatable errors that can create unfair outcomes, and confirmation bias, which is over-reliance on pre-existing beliefs or doubling down on existing beliefs or personal biases. Since AI is built by humans, right, it's susceptible to human biases. Bias can skew an AI model's original training data or its algorithm, leading to distort outputs and potentially harmful outcomes. Sources of AI bias can include exclusion bias, which is data being left out of a training set, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Sample bias, when data used to train a model doesn't have enough data and isn't represented enough or is incomplete. Or stereotyping bias, occurring when an AI system reinforces harmful stereotypes. So match the corresponding title to the correct definition of each AI risk or bias. Instead of making this a drag that the directions say, you're going to match it in the chat box. So the options here are: when an AI system produces misinformation or repeatable errors that can create unfair outcomes, data being left out of a training set, whether intentionally or unintentionally, when data used to train a model doesn't have enough data, isn't representative enough, or is incomplete, over-reliance on pre-existing beliefs or doubling down on existing beliefs or personal biases, and occurs when an AI system reinforces harmful stereotypes. So you're going to be, as a multiple choice, matching all of those instead of dragging, because the pear deck doesn't work for me. Okay, part 2. What are ethics? Ethics are a set of moral principles or guiding values, often concerning the principles of conduct that govern individuals or groups. What do you consider to be some of your personal guiding values? What about groups that you belong to? Okay, so for each of the scenarios, you want to do the following. What is your initial reaction? Is it positive, negative? Why? Does the scenario remind you of anything you've heard from, excuse me, from current events or personal experience? Select one guideline for ethical AI use that scenario violates. So you're going to be looking at a handout for that. There will be a link in the chat box for you to help you answer the questions. Okay, so for this academic honesty one, here's a scenario. Your friend Alex is very stressed about a huge research paper due next week. They discover that an online AI tool that can basically write the whole background research part of the paper for them and summarize a bunch of articles. Alex uses it, gets a perfect score in that section, doesn't tell their teacher they used AI. Which guideline for ethical AI use does this scenario violate? Okay, second one, data privacy. Here's the scenario. ConnectSphere is a new social media platform that boasts an incredibly personalized AI-powered user experience. One day a user, Liam, notices ads popping up for things he only mentioned in private messages on the platform. He discovers that ConnectSphere sells these profiles to advertisers. Which guideline for ethical AI use does this scenario violate? Training data bias. Here's a scenario. A business uses an AI and facial recognition system for employee access to their office. 62-year-old Sarah is an employee who is repeatedly denied entry to the building, causing her to be late for an important meeting on at least one occasion. Younger colleagues seem to have no access issues. Investigation later revealed the system was trained mostly on younger faces. Which guideline for ethical AI use does this scenario violate? Who owns the work? Artist Maria meticulously paints a landscape inspired by a famous historical work, pouring her time and skill into it. Simultaneously, a software developer, David, uses his AI art generator to create an image based on the same historical landscape. The AI output shares a similar feel and composition to Maria's painting, though it's not identical. Both creators believe their work is original. Which guideline for ethical AI use does this scenario violate? Okay, here's one about potential AI risks and benefits scenario. Your city's planning commission is holding a public discussion about the potential of self-driving cars in the community. During the discussion, residents raised concerns about accessibility for all city residents, how to prioritize safety for different road users, the potential for job displacement, and the necessary infrastructure changes. Which guideline for ethical AI use does this scenario violate? Copyright problems. Scenario. A tech company is developing an AI program that can generate creative writing. The company uses a massive online data set of books and articles to train its AI model. Some of this material is openly available under licenses that allow for reuse and adaptation, including for training AI. However, a significant portion of the data included works that were clearly copyrighted and used without the explicit permission of the authors or publishers. The AI model then generates its own creative texts, which the company plans to sell. Which guidelines for ethical AI use does this scenario violate? All right, so last question. What is one key takeaway or new insight you gained about AI today? And then there's one more thing I want you to do. I want you to read the attached story called Epicac. And I want you to answer, and that's going to be in a second part of the assignment here. And I want you to then answer the questions at the end that's related to the ethics of the misuse of AI. Sorry I couldn't be there, you guys. I'm just super sick. I'm trying to rest as much as I can so I can get back. And then we'll pick up our boot camp when we get back. Have a good day. Bye-bye.